Good evening, I'm Scott Beadle with St. George News at 8. Attorneys request a competency exam for a West Valley City man accused of murder. 27-year-old Mark Mayer faces charges for first-degree aggravated murder, aggravated burglary, and several other counts in the death of Justin Hanna at a Cedar City trailer park last July. Competency exams are fairly common. Iron County attorneys also requested the release of Chandra Davis, the primary witness in the case. She had been taken into custody last November on an outstanding drug distribution warrant. Authorities say she was allegedly in the bed next to Hanna when the shooting occurred. Davis's case was settled in March, but prosecutors argued she is a flight risk. She is now released on supervised probation. Over 992,000 people around Utah participated in the annual earthquake drill, the Great Shakeout, on Thursday. It's all in preparation for the big one.
We had an earthquake this morning. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. I know that as I was eating my breakfast this morning, I felt the little 4.0 trembler that we had.
The exercise today exercised an earthquake scenario, and we learned from real events how important it is to involve the media in what the county and our public response agencies are doing.
Here today we're conducting in coordination with the Utah Shakeout an exercise in the Washington County Emergency Operations Center. We have activated the Emergency Operations Center on simulated 6.0 earthquake and have the Joint Information Center, which is brought up in emergencies to be able to provide information to the public and to the media to help with dissemination of information.
I've been very, very pleased as I've seen the volunteers, the professionals, such as from the school district, Public Works, from all hats and stripes, come together and start working cohesively to help Washington County and all of its communities respond more appropriately when these natural events happen. And it's really not a question of if they're going to happen, it's really when they're going to happen and how are we going to respond.
A motorhome and the truck it was towing are both total losses after catching fire on Interstate 15 Thursday afternoon. Traffic in Mojave County, Arizona was at a standstill for hours as crews fought those flames. Around 1:30 p.m., the engine compartment of a motorhome caught fire. The driver pulled over and got out with his wife unharmed. By the time fire crews arrived, that motorhome was fully engulfed, as was the front of the pickup it was towing. Part of the hillside also caught fire. Authorities had to close northbound traffic on I-15 for nearly 2 hours, causing a 5-mile backup. Local dance teams are planning a benefit for the family of 17-year-old Abigail Croshauer. The teen died in a collision near Diamond Valley on April 2nd. The event is being put on by the St. George Dance Crew's Calamity and Chaos, along with dance and cheer teams from several area high schools. That event is set for Monday night at Pineview High School. The evening starts at 6 p.m. and includes a bake sale, silent auction, and Hungry Howie's dinner. That concert starts at 7. Next week, President Trump will mark his 100th day in office, and it appears House Republicans are trying to give him a gift of a new health care bill. Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump one day closer to marking his first 100 days in office, optimistic about the House Republicans' plan to take another crack at health care.
We're doing very well in health care. We'll see what happens. But this is a great bill. There's a great plan.
White House aides have been working to revive the president's signature campaign promise to repeal and replace Obamacare. The GOP plan, dead on arrival as Republicans failed to reach an agreement.
It was a very, very tight margin. We had no Democrat support.
Sources say the new plan would keep some popular parts of the Affordable Care Act, like coverage for pre-existing conditions. But individual states could request to opt out of key mandates to lower insurance costs. Republicans hoping to get the deal done before the president's 100th day milestone next Saturday.
My 100-day action plan to make America great again.
The president repeatedly hyped up on the campaign trail what he would do in those first crucial days, even unveiling a contract in Gettysburg. Trump now tweeting this morning, no matter how much I accomplish during the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days, media will kill.
I think it's been underwhelming. 2/3 of the country thinks we're off on the wrong track, and a majority of the country still disapproves of him. So I think he still has much more to prove.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by Experamac. Experience Mac computers in a new way.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Friday evening to you. Some pretty dry weather out there today and a little bit cooler on temperatures, too. Our highs were in the upper 60s to low to mid 70s in most areas. Now, overnight tonight with clear skies and also seeing that very dry air over top of us, do have a hard freeze warning in effect for some of the valleys just to the north and west of St. George. So in parts of southwestern Utah, that hard freeze warning in effect where temperatures by tomorrow morning could drop into the mid to low 20s in some of those valleys. So definitely a cold start to our weekend, but much warmer weather is back in the forecast. Saturday and Sunday seeing lots of sunshine. Could be close to 90 once again in St. George by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. Keeping that sunshine going through early next week. Still pretty warm, mid 80s or so in much of southern Utah by early next week. Do see a few chances of rain coming in maybe by middle part of next week. Right now looking kind of just like slight chances, but at least seeing some chances on the 7-day forecast. And we'll talk more about that in just a few more minutes. But here's your surface map for your Saturday. Again, seeing those dry and pleasant weather getting back into parts of southern Utah once again. The heat building down to our south and west, though, and that'll eventually get here as we get to Sunday. That's when we'll see the warmest day, probably the next several days anyway, as highs here in St. George should get close to 90, at least upper 80s in most areas. But look at Cedar City tomorrow morning, 28 degrees to start the day at 7 o'clock in the morning, mainly clear skies. Lots of sunshine. Should see that high in Cedar City reach about 70. We'll be in the upper 40s to low 50s in St. George as you wake up early on Saturday morning, then back into the low 80s by the afternoon. Looking for that high of 83 degrees in St. George. Your high temperatures from today, seeing temperatures basically into the mid 70s here in most areas. Hurricane at 75 degrees today, 76 St. George. Cedar City today at 59 late this afternoon, 51 Enterprise, but still in the low 80s in parts of southern Nevada. For tonight, though, 28 degrees. Again, that hard freeze warning in effect for some areas, mainly Beaver County and also into parts of Iron County, just to our north and west of St. George. We'll see those valleys anyway, seeing temperatures back into the 20s. Everyone else, though, upper 40s to low 50s. And as we get up to tomorrow or your Saturday, temperatures back into the 70s in Cedar City, low to mid 80s around much of our area of St. George and southern Utah. And next 7 days for Cedar City, 75 by Sunday, mostly sunny skies. Back into the 60s, though, middle part of next week, with that chance of rain moving in by Tuesday and Wednesday. And here's a look at St. George, 7-day forecast for southern Utah. Again, could be as close as 88 degrees on Sunday afternoon and then dropping back into the upper 70s early next week. Again, may see a little rain around by middle part of next week. Scott?
Thank you, Chris. KCSG Channel 8 has teamed up with Experamac to give away an iPad at the end of this month. All you have to do is go to the KCSG Facebook page or kcsg.com and you can enter. Once you've entered, be sure to also use the keyword, which we will announce during each broadcast of the St. George News at 8 for an additional 30 entries. Tonight's keyword is Hunter. You may enter the giveaway every day until May 1st, so be sure to tune in each weeknight to the St. George News at 8 for the keyword of the day and more chances to win an iPad, courtesy of KCSG and Experamac. Two of the internet's most beloved moms meet for the first time. Watch how the circle of life comes full circle at a New York zoo when St. George News at 8 returns. A South Carolina woman who made a viral video showing herself wearing a giraffe mask while awaiting the birth of her son is now meeting up with the real giraffe mom. Erin Dietrich dressed up as New York City's April the Giraffe back in March because, well, at the time, she and April were both waiting to give birth. Well, since then, they have both given birth, and she thought it would just be fitting to go to New York so that they could meet April face to face.
Very nice.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you have a great weekend.